Welcome to Intuitive Living. I'm your host Silvia, and in today's episode I will chat about angels and guides. I want to go into who are they and how to invoke them and how to work with them. So let's go straight into who are spirit guides. Spirit guides are highly evolved beings, and they actually get assigned to you, one of them, when you are born. They're there to kind of guide you and make sure you're on the right track and just kind of support you as you go along. As you go on with your life, as life situations changes, your spirit guides will change up on you too. They can come in many different forms. It could be mythological, human, and animal forms. For myself, I have about 6 different kinds, different ones. I have one that's kind of there for quite a while now. He's always with me. I have a really awesome relationship with him. I connect with him on a daily basis. Every morning I get up and the first thing I do is kind of connect with Ray. Ray is supportive. I can trust him. We built our relationship over the last, I would say, 12 years on a daily basis. We just kind of work with each other, and I trust him fully with everything he's giving me and what he does and how he communicates with me. So Ray and I actually have a thumb system. So Ray doesn't just come in and just give me kind of the information as I go throughout the day. I have to consciously ask for guidance. So what that means is I actually, if something comes up in my life, I stop and take a little bit break. Instead of going into that fear-based thinking, as I talked about in the last episode, I stop, take myself out of the equation as a human being, just kind of surrender to it. And then I ask him to come in and just kind of talk to him in my mind. And I just ask, literally, intentionally, a question such as okay, Ray, is this going to be a problem? Do I have to be worried about this? And what Ray, how he comes in for me, we have, as I said before, the thumb system. So he comes in and he gives me kind of the thumbs up, middle, or down. And I know by what he's giving me what I have to be aware of. So there were many instances where I asked him for guidance and he came in with thumbs down. So if I ask him if this is going to be an issue for me, he gave me the thumbs down. And then I ask more, I just go and fine tune what I need to know from him. And each question he comes back with thumbs up or thumbs down or in the middle. And so far, throughout my whole entire time having him with me, again, about 12 years now, never, not once, he was wrong. Maybe I, on my side, read into whatever message he gave me, and it was more on a human level versus on a spiritual level, and that's actually where the confusion came in. But him, what he actually gives me on a regular basis, it's always right on. It's pretty awesome. When my kids were little, we played a lot of board games, and I used Ray as my tool. So if we had a board game with multiple choices, I actually went in and I kind of just, okay, Ray, is it A? And I got a thumbs down. Obviously, I wouldn't go with A. Is it B? Thumbs down. Is it C? I got a thumbs up, and I'm it's C. I have no idea why it's C because it's not me. But yes, he always kind of supported me, and I utilized him in many different areas. My kids always said it's cheating, and I said nope. I just utilize everything I can, and you could do that too if you know how and how much you wanna connect with them and trust them. So yes, that would be a spirit guide. Throughout the years, for me, on a personal level, they changed up. I had various different kinds for different situations. I have, besides Ray, I have one more, a Native American energy that comes in. And it's not necessarily always with me. It's literally coming in when I need to know, when I need to be strong emotionally and or physically. That energy kind of comes in and just kind of gives me a heads up. Just be prepared, it's gonna come up. And for me, how that one shows up, it's like a picture of that energy that just kind of comes in and just kind of like comes from one side to the other, and it kind of just gets blended in, and it gives me kind of like that, okay, I just have to step back and be aware something is going to come up where it needs my attention emotionally and or physically. So yes, they can come different ways. One way of connecting with spirit guides is actually to just literally make time to ask the question. You gotta find a relationship, and you gotta find the energy to work with them. Like in a regular relationship, you're gonna work on it on a daily basis. Same here. So one way of doing it, you could just kind of find a time by yourself where nobody's really bothering you, where it's quiet, and then have maybe a notebook with pen on the side, and just ask the question, who are you, or who is with me today? And you might get immediately any kind of responses. You might get, it's maybe a little bit delayed. Try to just kind of like continue doing it and trusting in what you're getting, and maybe even writing it down, and trying not to overanalyze what you got, or questioning was this my mind? Is this really what's happening? Trying to really kind of just surrendering and having fun with this connection. I know from my own experience, way back, I had a spirit guide come in, and we always think, like, it comes to spirit guides and angels, they're serious and they're very like structured, and everything is going by plan, and when you ask, you're gonna get automatically a response back, and they're there to kind of be there to really guide and be very serious and structured about everything. What's actually not the case. I had this spirit guide come in many years back, and he came in one night. I was just in bed. That's when I do my rituals and like my affirmations and calling in my angels and guides. And he just popped in and he goes, hello. And I'm like, hello, it's 9 o'clock at night. I really don't want to work right now. I kind of like ignored him. And that went on for like 14 days. 14 days, I kind of didn't want to connect with him, didn't want to really acknowledge him. So after 14 days, I thought for myself, well, there's a reason why he's with me. It's just, he always comes in a weird time. I just don't feel like I want to work at night. So I'm going to just try to find some time, sit down, and consciously try to connect with him and see why he's with me. So that's what I did. I sat down, did my meditation, connected with him. And he said to me, well, I don't have time for you right now. I felt a little bit offended, because me thinking in my human mind, you're my spirit guide and you should actually be there to help me and guide me right now. So how dare you kind of tell me that you don't have time for me right now? So this went on another 14 days. Every day I connected with him, trying to make that relationship work. And he gave me kind of like, nope, not today. So after a month of going back and forward, and after a little while, I found it kind of a little bit funny, because again, you look at spirit guides and angels as these serious, very, very structured kind of beings, what is absolutely, again, not the case. And one day I said, we need to stop this. We need to figure out why you're with me. We need to figure out how we're gonna communicate and just, work with each other. And that's what we did. Again, throughout the whole process, when I connected with him, again, he was joking and funny and definitely not serious and definitely a little bit like upbeat. And I had a hard time. I felt like during that time, it was really hard for me to just really trust that energy, because it came in completely different than all my other energies I had a connection with before. But yes, I want to make sure you understand, not every energy is willing to just come in and completely be serious about things and get right on board and start helping you. Some of them, they are funny and just kind of like trying to test you, or they're trying to kind of figure out how far can they go with you. So yeah, be open to anything that actually comes in for you and have fun with it. The only thing I'm going to give you comes to like spirit guides and angels, or any kind of energies you're connecting with. Anything that doesn't feel good, you just know something is not, it scares you, it doesn't feel balanced, it feels more fear-induced versus peaceful and inspiring, you might want to set some boundaries and just kind of like, no, you're not actually there to help me. You're actually there to kind of like hurt me, and you're not there in my highest good. So I do not want to have that relationship. So if you're struggling to figure out, are they energies that are there for my highest good, or are they there to kind of hurt me on an emotional, spiritual, physical level? If it does not feel good, if it feels heavy, if it feels fear-based, if you feel like you have more anxieties after connecting with them, you might want to stop and regroup a little bit. But anything that feels good, fun, light, anything that feels witty, goofy, serious, go for it and just see where it goes with spirit guides. And as I mentioned before, they can come in many different forms: mythological, human, spirit, animal guides. Be open and don't have an idea how it should happen. Again, expectations are there to be broken. Leave it open and see who wants to connect with you and just who wants to guide you at this moment. Again, they can change throughout your life. Obviously, the one that was born, well, when you were born, that was with you, might not really know what they need to do for the situation you're in right now. So do not assume they're gonna just stay the same for many, many years or many, many situations. Be open to experience. So that will be about the spirit guides and just kind of like how they feel and who they are and how they come in. At least for me, again, everybody's a little bit different. So if you maybe talk to another reader, it might be a little bit different. But for me, that's how I experience connecting to my spirit guides and know how to or what to give to my clients at this time. So going into the angels, I want to make sure we cover that a little bit. And I'm a big fan of working with angels and guides. I wish, or I hope at some point, more people would access that and really trying to understand you are not alone. You do have the help. It's just, do you want the help, or do you want to work through your life situation on your own? So I always say, angels do not show up just because they see that there's something going on in your life that's a little bit more challenging, and then they just decide, oh, okay, we see this person is struggling, I'm gonna just swoop in, put it back on track, and then go and hide again. That is not how angels work. I think the biggest part of understanding how to work with angels and guides is we need to ask for help. And I think that's such a huge human challenge, because we get told that asking for help might be weakness or it's just not appropriate. But that's the first thing, being okay, being absolutely okay with asking for help. So that will be the first way of connecting with them. They're all around us, and I always tell my clients, like, understand they're there, but they're bored. They don't have anything to do unless you give them directions. So make them to good use. If they want to hang out in your energy, why not make them to your good use? And so it's going to benefit you and your family and your life at this point. So I always go in and explain to my clients. So that's the first rule, being okay with asking for help. The second way or rule to work with them is having no emotions attached to what you need help with. So whatever you need help with and whatever you ask them to come in for, you do not want to have anything, no hope, no joy, no sadness, no fear, trying to be completely neutral at that moment. Kind of like telling yourself, I have nothing to lose at this point. I'm going to just see how it's going to unfold. And that will be the most successful way to connect and have them work for you. The third rule would be have clear and clean intentions on what you need from them. I know a lot of people come in and they ask, well, I ask with, I hope, maybe, I wish, I try. You got to understand, everything we say and everything we put out into the world is energy. A hope in itself has not really any kind of intentions. You're not going to attract anything, but it's not going to go anywhere else either. It's kind of just staying stuck in that energy. So if you go and ask for, I hope this could happen for me, the universe is going, or the angels are going kind of like, okay, does she want it? Does she not want it? Is it something they are really interested in changing or not? Because for them, it's literally like you're not really giving them the permission to go ahead and help you. So I always say there's a couple words you might not want to use while connecting with them or asking for help, and that would be hope, try, wish, maybe, dream. If they're not really clear intentions for anything. So when I connect with them and need some help from them, I go very, very clear, and I say something like, bring me, show me, I need, and I want. Very clear energy. And I don't feel guilty for putting it out there on that level, because I know if I go in with any kind of other energy, it's not going to change anything for me or my life at that point. And then the fourth rule would be going in and sending out your request. And a lot of people analyze what they just sent out on a human level. Well, humans only see from A to B. They don't see the bigger picture. They don't see what will be in your highest good or everyone involved. So by you going in and analyzing afterwards, how is this possible? This will never be happening. Or I can't see how this is going to get attached or get done. You kind of block that energy too, because you're putting fear out again, mistrust again. So I always give my clients to understand, when we get to a point where we're going to ask angels and guides to be there and help us in certain life situations, we can come to an area in our lives or a point in our lives where we go, we're going to surrender and we're going to give it up and trust into a higher source. Be aware of how you show up at that moment. If you start analyzing, wondering, fearing after you send it out, you're not going into faith and trust. You're actually trying to control the situation. So coming back and just kind of like being okay with really not knowing how it's going to be done, but fully stepping into trust and faith that it will be in your highest good and everyone involved at that moment. There's a few times where clients ask me, I'm not sure how to ask for things. And I always feel like there's definitely certain rules attached to it to make sure it's absolutely fair and balanced when they come in and help you out. So one thing would be making sure you understand, never cap yourself. And I'm going to give you an example in what I mean with that. So capping yourself means if you want to ask for financial freedom or more money in your life, say you're struggling and you don't know how to get to that next level, never ever put an amount in there. Just a regular amount is capping yourself. So you think you might need $100, but the angels and guides go, okay, I'm going to just give her $100, but she has no idea she needs more at this point. So we're just going to let her figure it out, and then you have to go back and do it again because it's not flowing. It's not giving you that next level of relief and peace. So I always go in and say something like, bring me financial freedom or abundance in all areas of my life or prosperity. And also make sure you understand by asking something like that, you as a human being might think of it has to be money related, but it can actually be anything to get you to that next level. It does not have to be necessarily on a monetary level. It could be anything to advance you so you have that financial freedom, that prosperity and abundance in your areas of your life. I think there's a lot of energies that want to attract that perfect partner or relationship or friendship, and we come in with our ego mind. We see a person and we want to connect with that person, and we want to ask that this person is going to be in our lives, and we're going to ask maybe with the help of angels and guides. And I always say that's completely ego-based. Never, ever, ever use a name. It's not up to you to say that person is in your highest good, because you don't know if you are in their highest good. So what I do, I go very basic. I say something like, bring me the people that are in my highest good and I'm in theirs, and remove the ones that no longer serve me and I no longer serve them. I always feel it has to be a balance. I can't just invoke them but not take anyone out, because that would be really unbalanced. What if there's people in my life that need to leave for their highest good, not necessarily for mine or vice versa. I want to make sure it's absolutely adjusted for everyone that's involved in my life. And again, no names attached, because just because I don't like Barbara does not mean Barbara is not in my highest good, because I might still have something to learn from Barbara, or she might have something to learn from me. And again, that will be ego-based, because we're trying to avoid any kind of uncomfortable situations. And that would actually diminish our growth. And we are here to grow and to learn and to evolve. So yeah, making sure you don't use any names comes to that. I use it literally on a daily basis. I actually do it with the intentions for business, and then I do it for the intention of personal. So what I do most Sunday nights before I go to bed, because that's when the week starts for me again, for going back to work, having readings, being with clients, doing meditations and yoga, I actually go in, call them in, and what I say is, I say my full name, everything that comes with me. My first name, if you have a middle name, use your middle name, your maiden name, your married name, anything that goes with you. Make sure you're going to use all of it. And then I say something like, I'm going to call in the guardian angels, the archangels, Raphael for healing emotionally and physically, Mother Mary, Michael for protection, the Ascended Masters, the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, God, whoever you believe in, doesn't matter. It's all the same. And all my spirit guides at this time. And I always say it's really, really important to say all the spirit guides at this time, because again, spirit guides do change, and you want to make sure you have the right ones for whatever situation is going on at this moment, whatever you need help with at this time. And then I go in and just kind of like analyze what I would like to invoke, or what I would like to have help with. Most of the time what I do on a Sunday night, I ask to make sure my business is always in a flow. I don't want to get stuck. I don't feel like I want to go and retrieve in business. It should always be balanced. So what I say, as I mentioned before, something like, bring me the people that are in my highest good and I'm in theirs, and remove the ones that no longer serve me and I no longer serve them. Again, it helps to open up new possibilities. It helps to open up outserved energies. I don't want to serve a person that's with me for 10, 12 years, but they're just with me because they feel they need to be loyal, or they feel scared to actually move on and go with somebody else. I want to make sure it's absolutely fair and balanced, and that they can actually leave and feel good about it and grow and expand, and I get my client that's absolutely aligned for me at that moment too. So always leaving it open. And then I go in later on and just do it for my personal life too. I always feel it's really interesting to see how it unfolds, because sometimes I'm like, what's happening? Why do I have so many people, connecting with me? And then my husband goes, well, did you clean out your closet? Did you ask for it? What did you do? I'm like, oh yeah, forgot about that. So yes, once I send it out, once I have that, intent and send it out, I do not go back. I don't think about it. I don't analyze how, when, where, why. I just trust, have faith, and let it unfold. So that's how I would work with angels and guides. I'm sure you're familiar with, there are thousands of different angels out there. I wouldn't know all of them because there's so many of them. You might know the basic ones, such as Raphael. And Raphael is a really good angel to call in if somebody's sick, any kind of emotional or physical pain. Also, if you're traveling and you have travel anxieties, it's a nice way of having Raphael come in and just help you to calm down. We have Michael. Michael is a really nice, calm kind of energy for me. Michael I see actually in blue, and blue is for protection, physical, emotional, spiritual protection. You can actually place or visualize or call him in to protect your house, car, your job, yourself. So there's many different ways of how to use them. And then one of my absolute favorite to work with is actually Angel Gabriel. And he's there for communication, making sure you have clean, clear communication, especially if you do any kind of like, speaking engagements and anything, or just for yourself to know how you, want to show up at that moment and how you want to have that conversation. So yeah, there's many different kinds. Maybe down the road, I will go into specific angels and just kind of like what they're for and how to invoke them on a certain level. I figured this is a nice basic understanding of what angels and guides are. If you have any questions, if you want to know how to work with them, or if you feel like you just need a little bit more information about them, feel free to connect with me at silviasisson.com. You can also connect with me via Facebook and Instagram. Thank you for watching, and I see you next time.